Spider-Man's life is like a never-ending roller coaster, highs of heroism and lows of relentless struggle. Whether it's J. Jonah Jameson dragging his name through the mud, relationships falling apart, or even losing his home, Peter Parker always finds a way to rise above the chaos. But what happens when the weight of the world crushes even Spider-Man's indomitable spirit? This is the story of Spider-Man Back in Black. Here, Peter Parker doesn't just face adversity, he becomes it. A single bullet shatters his world. That bullet wasn't meant for Aunt May, but she was the one who took the hit. As she lay bleeding in his arms, something inside Peter snapped. This wasn't the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. This was a man with nothing left to lose. Peter raced against time, cradling his wounded aunt as he swung through the city. Hospitals weren't built for miracles, but Peter poured everything he had, his blood, his hope, into saving her. Then, as she fought for her life, Peter set out to ensure no one else would ever dare come for his family again. The hunt began. The shooter's trail led Peter to a grimy underworld of crime, a warehouse stuffed with weapons and criminals who thought they were untouchable. Peter didn't come in with quips or web tricks. He came in like a storm. Bones cracked like kindling. There was no Spider-Man here, no red and blue, just raw, unfiltered vengeance in human form. But vengeance needs a vessel. The red and blue suit wasn't enough anymore. It carried too much hope, too much optimism. So Peter went back to the one thing he swore he'd never touch again: the black suit. Wearing it was like unlocking a darker, primal part of himself. He was faster, stronger, and above all, merciless. Lead after lead crumbled under the weight of Peter's interrogation until he finally got the name he wanted. The shooter wasn't the mastermind, just another pawn. The real culprit was someone Peter had clashed with time and again: Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime. Peter didn't call the police, he didn't build a plan, he simply called Kingpin and said 3 words: "You can die." The showdown wasn't on rooftops or in back alleys. It was in the heart of Fisk's empire, the prison he ruled like a king. The entire facility became an arena as Spider-Man descended from the ceiling like an avenging angel. Prisoners cheered, guards froze, and Kingpin stood, smug and defiant, ready to crush Spider-Man's spirit as he had so many others. But this wasn't the Spider-Man he knew. This wasn't jokes and acrobatics. This was fury in a black suit. Every insult Kingpin threw about Aunt May, about Peter's failures, was met with silence. Then it began, a brutal, one-sided battle. Kingpin was powerful, but Peter was relentless. Every punch carried years of frustration, every blow a message: you don't get to win anymore. And when Kingpin lay crumpled, bloodied, and humiliated, Peter delivered his final warning. He wouldn't kill Fisk, not yet. Instead, he ensured that everyone in that prison saw the Kingpin broken, stripped of his invincibility. Peter promised that if Aunt May didn't make it, he'd return, not as Spider-Man, but as something much darker. And next time, there'd be no mercy. As Peter swung away, the prisoners whispered among themselves. Kingpin, the untouchable Titan, was now just a man, beaten and vulnerable. Fear rippled through the criminal underworld, a warning not to cross Spider-Man's path again. This story shows us something rare: a Spider-Man stripped of his moral compass, driven by loss and rage. It's not just about power or responsibility, it's about what happens when even the best of us are pushed too far.